like 30,
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're...
All right, we on. Clap it up. Of course, we back at it again every Monday at 6, live here in Maryland, bringing you to the local, national, and international news. This is the One West News Desk, bringing you uncut, unbiased journalism. I'm your host, Captain Saparia, along with my other hosts,
Officer Matham.
and we're gonna be bringing out some heavy news today. So sit down, unwind, and unplug from your usual news feed on your Facebook, on your social media platforms, because they're not gonna really feed you a lot of, primitive information that's out here, that's widely available, but it's not being fed to you, like Atlanta Housewives and fights and a bunch of vanity, basically.
Right.
But again with the international turmoil, Canada, Mexico, Russia, Ukraine, and the list goes on. Many thought when Trump came into office that there was going to be a slowdown or a pullback or a slowdown on these wars that's going on, but in which it may seem like it is with the peace talks with Russia, right? It's peace talks with Russia and Ukraine right now, and it seems like the war between so-called Hezbollah, so-called Hamas, and Israel is coming to a close. It seems that way, but in reality, Trump's terror and arrogance is fueling international turmoil, not only with Russia and Arab nations, but nations that are considered allies to America, to the USA, and a lot of people are discouraged about that. But listen, this is what the Lord wanted. This is what the Lord is constructing. You understand? So be ready for the big show. It's coming soon. We in those wars and rumors of wars Christ talked about.
Right.
We in them times right now. So, everybody got to tighten up. Everybody got to tighten up. But don't you have anything to add?
Right. Yeah, I got a little bit to add, sir. We also got to remember a lot of times when we listen to the United States like to fill us up, especially American people, with propaganda. If you remember the War of 1812, America invaded Canada in 1812 at 3 different points. And in all 3 of those points, America failed. America tends to not want to tell their own history when it comes down to failure. And Canada remembers their history. That's why Canada is reacting to America in the way that it does, and the way that it is, because Canada feels as though they defeated America once and they can do it again. You understand? I don't think Donald Trump knows the real history of America and Canada, but he's definitely about to find out. You understand? And would you like a little bit more into that history, sir?
Please add on. Please add on.
Go ahead. I'm gonna read an article that I pulled, and I'm gonna start in the middle of the article. I'm just gonna give you the gist of the article. It says American armies invaded Canada in 1812 at 3 different points, but all 3 campaigns ended in failure. One army surrounded at Detroit at the western end of Lake Erie. A second army surrounded at Queenston Heights at the other end of the lake. And the third army withdrew after little more than a skirmish north of New York. A similar multi-pronged invasion went better in 1813, but only in the West, where the American victory on Lake Erie paved the way for the land victory at the Thames in Upper Canada, which restored U.S. ascendancy throughout the region, but further east, American forces made little headway. You understand? Canada knows that history. A lot of us don't know anything about that history, but we have to understand that America has always been a beast. You understand? Whether it be with us so-called blacks, Hispanics, or even with their own people. You understand? And right now, what's going on with America and Canada is just the tip of the iceberg of World War III. We have to understand that this is the way the Most High has planned these things to work out. You know, what the scripture say, Cap? It says a house divided against itself cannot stand. You understand? And we have to understand that these are two European nations going at each other. We have nothing to do with this. This is not our fight. This is what do they call it? European on European crime. We should just sit back and watch it happen. You understand? You there, Cap?
Con, I'm there.
Oh, okay, you blinked out for a sec.
Nah, Salagi on that.
Go ahead. You got something on that?
Con, you're absolutely right. This is oppressor on oppressor crime. It's a little different than what the propaganda they push you.
Exactly.
That's just in-house stuff. This is international turmoil.
Right.
And this international turmoil is something that we shouldn't be discouraged about at all. Like you mentioned, like this is for our liberation. This is for our freedom.
Right.
And the Lord is allowing our enemies to come up against each other at an alarming rate right now. So
right,
we should be thankful more than anything. You understand? So a couple of things we're gonna go into. If any other articles that you got, feel free to bring out. But I just want to mention. I want to start with a couple of bulletins and a couple of history points before I go into my article with them, if I could.
Is it something you want me to pull up, sir?
No, I got it down right here.
Okay.
But as far as the article, you can pull that up now on your end. Or I can pull it up here. I can share it on the screen if that's better.
You need me to read?
I'm not going to read it right now. I'm going to read the note. These notes I got first.
Con.
And then then I'll have you read the article. And you can time in at any time. But I just want to give a simple timeline of specifically Iran and their nuclear capability from the 50s up until now. Now, this so-called turmoil has been brewing up, and mind you, America's has been always wanted power in this region of the earth. They always schemed and put their foot in. You still there?
Con, sir.
Y'all see? Can you see the screen? They always try to put it into other parts of the earth. They use NATO. They use the other diplomatic ways to put their troops and put their so-called democracy in other parts of the East. You understand? So they've had their eye on Iran, a superpower for the Arab nation. That's why they're so prevalent. They're the most powerful Arab nation. So they're going to be. So the propaganda around them is the highest. It's for a reason. So we'll go into this real quick. I'm going to go into these bulletins real quick first. We'll start with we'll start in the 1950s. Just some key events in the U.S. and Iran nuclear dispute here, from the origins of Iran's nuclear program to recent developments. And we'll start here in the 1950s to the 1970s. Origins of Iran nuclear program. 1957, the U.S. and Iran signed a nuclear cooperation agreement under the Atoms for Peace program, providing Iran with a research reactor. Now that was in 57. Now we're in 1970. Iran signs the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT, pleading to use nuclear technology only for peaceful purposes. Now, they already see the capabilities of this nuclear power, and they want to make sure all these nations that got that power stay in check. That's all the U.S. is trying to do.
Right.
So they want to be the only ones with those capabilities and the only ones with the power over other nations with that. All right. 1979, after the Iranian Revolution, the U.S. cuts ties with Iran, ending nuclear cooperation. Now, this is when things get fishy. And this is not the only treaty that's been broken with other nations. Last week, what did we bring out? We brought out in the early 2000s that ballistic missile treaty that they had with Russia ended. What we seeing right here is a pattern of treaties being broken internationally. And as we go out through these radio shows, we'll bring out that more and more treaties have been broken that we have no idea about.
Right.
And y'all think this turmoil that Trump is bringing about with his so-called allies, this is a normal thing for America to do. It's just more public. It's just more arrogant and out there and in the news because he's the face of evil. So the Democratic Party wants to use that against the Republican Party, not understanding the turmoil that it causes against America. We don't understand what the Lord is orchestrating there. There's something out of our imagination. Everybody thinks that this war is avoidable.
Right.
It's be de-escalated. They can have a peace talk. They can have a what do they call it? A ceasefire with them.
Right.
And all these things. Listen, it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. And it's been we got to point out the timelines because this is just not a flick of the switch. This is years and years of conflict leading up to this point. And we've been saying this since the 60s, Madam, that these wars was going to come. This turmoil was going to come. So 1979, that happened. And that between the 1980s and the 1990s, covert developments. 1984, the U.S. designates Iran as a state sponsor of terrorism, basically labeling the entire nation as terrorists.
Right.
Listen, they wanted the smoke because they know what they're capable of. They wanted the smoke. This is in the 80s now. Yeah, we thinking, if I could, we thinking this is something brewing up recently after Iraq and Afghanistan. This been going on. The propaganda has been set in place for decades. You understand? And that was in 84.
Right.
Iran secretly begins uranium enrichment and development nuclear facilities, including at Natanz and Iraq, revealed in 2002 by dissidents. 1995, the U.S. bans all trade with Iran, citing nuclear concerns. Dang. Moving on, 2000s, escalation and diplomacy. 2002, exile groups expose Iran's nuclear facilities, sparking international alarm. 2003, Iran agrees to suspend enrichment temporarily, but resumes activities in 2005. In 2006, the UN Security Council imposes sanctions after Iran refuses to halt enrichment of those nuclear developments. From 2006 to 2013, if I could, I got a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Stalled negotiations. Iran expands enrichment while the U.S. and the EU tighten sanctions, targeting oil exports in 2012. Now, from 2013 to 16, Moderate President Hassan elected. Secret U.S.-Iran talks begin. 15. Iran agrees to dismantle 98% of its uranium stockpile limit and to limit enrichment and allow inspections in exchange for sanction relief, meaning all of that really an embargo.
Right.
They was feeling the pressure from that the oil prices. You understand? That's their main source of income. So they got to trade with all these powerful nations. And you can cut it in my thumb at any time. You can cut in, all right?
Come, sir. Another thing that we also have to understand, sir, is that America's reign lasted so long because they had so many countries scared to cooperate with each other against America. Now America has sanctioned all of these countries so much so that these countries had no choice but to come together. And now what's happening is America's putting all these sanctions and tariffs on all of these countries. And what's happening is it's destroying the American economy. This is the beginning of the fall. This is how empires fall. What we're looking at right now is the beginning of the fall of America. America, the Most High created our oppressor to have this kind of personality. This was put into him. He doesn't see that he's shooting himself in the foot. And like I said before, this is the beginning of the fall of the American empire. This is what we're looking at right now.
God, absolutely. Absolutely. And we getting fooled. Like everybody think America on top. It's on a terrifying decline. The economy,
right?
The influence it has on internationally is falling.
Right.
We better wake the hell up, man. Let's get back to this timeline with Iran, and then I want to get to this article if I could, my thumb.
Come on, sir.
After this point here. I'm almost to recent day, 2017 to 2020. U.S. withdrawal and maximum pressure. 2018, President Trump withdraws the U.S. from the JCPOA, reinstating sanctions and targeting Iran's oil sector. 2019 to 2020, Iran begins breaching JCPOA limits, enriching uranium to 4.5%, then 20%, and stockpiling beyond 300 kg. Also in 2020, U.S. assassinates Iranian general. That everybody was familiar with that. That was not too long ago. Iran retaliates by attacking U.S. bases in Iraq. November 2020, assassination of Mohsen. I can't pronounce this goddamn Arab, but Mohsen. Iran top nuclear scientists, and they blamed Israel for that. 2021, 2023, stalled diplomacy and escalation. 21, indirect U.S.-Iran talks begin. Vienna to revive the JCPOA. Bear with me 1 second. Just giving everybody a timeline of Iran and how it got to this point here. June 2021, hardliner 2021, Raisi elected Iranian president, negotiate stall. 2022, Iran enriches uranium to 60% purity near weapons grade, meaning, as y'all can see, it's been going up and up and up and up and up throughout this timeline. Installs advanced centrifuges and restricts IAEA access. 22. IAEA reports Iran has enough 60% uranium for a nuclear weapon it further enriched. 23. U.S. and Iran engaged in informal. You know that mean ghetto.
Right. Right.
That mean international messiness. U.S. and Iran engaged in informal talks on mediation, but no breakthrough. Matham, you got anything on that?
Back to when you was talking about those scientists,
Huh.
you know that was America using Israel as a proxy to unalive those scientists. You understand? And that's what a lot of people don't realize is that Israel is not really a power. They're just a proxy being used by America to do their dirty work against Iran. You understand? So they're just over in the Middle East so that America can have that extended hand in the Middle East. Because right now, other than Iraq, you understand it, other than a couple of bases that they have in Iraq, Israel is the strongest thing that they got over there, which is really not that strong.
Right. That's an excellent point. And that's also one of the next bulletins we have. I'm going to break down the breakout time and the proxy conflicts along with the stalemate. Before we get into this article to the right of us on the screen here.
Sir.
Breakout time. These are the key ongoing issues. Breakout time. Iran estimated time to produce enough fissile matter for one bomb has shrunk from 1 year under JCPOA to weeks. The proxy conflicts you mentioned. Everybody want to say, and mind you, after I read this proxy thing, don't think for 1 second, the Israelis is not a U.S. proxy. Don't think for 1 second that ain't the case. You understand? Don't think for one moment that Ukraine ain't a NATO proxy, which is really a United States proxy. You understand? They all play the same game. The international turmoil they play, we not hip to. We not even hip. Where we at? I'm on proxies, right? Proxy conflicts. U.S. sanctions and Iran's regional activities claim to back in Hamas, claims of back in Hezbollah. This is what you consider complicated diplomacy. You understand? They don't want to start a war, so they can't put their name on it.
Right.
Iran plays the same game that the United States play. Playing the same game.
Right.
They got the key. They got the key to this international turmoil. You understand? Where we at on this? Russia too. Russia in the same game. They be funding little groups here and there.
Right. That's how these groups. That's how these larger countries stay in power over more than their own territories. You understand? They got these little proxy wars going on. They got these little nations that depend on them so much so that they do what they do their bidding for.
Absolutely. Stalemate. The U.S. demands Iran's reverse nuclear advances first. Iran demands guaranteed sanction relief. They want to get that oil off.
Right.
They want to get their money. You understand? So that's where they at with it right now. But as of late, Trump talking something else. He talking peace and peace this and peace that. He knows something that ain't pushed in the media yet. They control that media and that propaganda.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised in some far-in news station they talking about Iran ready to go. I'm just saying, I haven't heard it. I don't got a source yet.
Right.
The way Trump was talking this week, it sounded cowardice. It sounded cowardice. I'm like, okay, Most High Christ, it's ramping up. It's ramping up. Because them goddamn Israelis did a whole lot of unaliving up.
Right.
On the USA, on the USA's dime. They did a whole lot of unaliving. You know how these goddamn devils get in that battlefield, man. They don't have any morals.
Right.
They'll take your children out, the elderly out, and do all types of cruel acts after they kept. This is a cruel beast, man. This is a cruel beast that never fight fair.
Salakia, sir, if I may, what did the scriptures say? The scriptures say they had no care for the young or the old.
No care for the young and the old.
Right.
And you over there claiming to be us. They over there claiming to be us and doing all types of horrible acts to them Palestinians.
Right.
Don't have any type of morals, man. Any type of
None
standard.
at all.
Them Palestinians will rather go to war with us and our power under our power than with them, because wow, we ain't doing those filthy, disgusting acts that they commit.
Right.
What the scriptures say, the people will rejoice. I don't give a damn if it's a heathen or not. When the righteous are in authority.
Right.
These bastards are worse than cruel. Okay.
It's the epitome of evil.
The epitome of evil, claiming to be the children of Israel.
Right.
Disgusting bastards, man. All right, let's get to this article.
You want me to read it, sir? I got it.
You got it. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. Trump rebuffed by Iran's leader after sending letter calling for nuclear negotiation.
They trying to make this so-called peace. Yeah, all right, let's get it.
President Trump said he sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, last week asking that the two leaders negotiate over the Islamic Republic nuclear program.
Now, hold on real quick. No, this is Trump reaching out. Why is Trump reaching out? I thought Trump had all the cards.
Right.
Remember when he was talking to what's his name? Ukraine.
Kim Jong-un?
Zelensky.
Oh, Zelensky. Yeah, Zelensky.
He was talking to Zelensky like, you have none of the cards. You have no leverage. It's looking like Iran got some leverage, I'm just saying, it looked like Iran got some leverage if the president is sending a letter to Iran.
Right.
Who is he trying to protect? Is he trying to protect America, or is he trying to protect his seat over there with them Israelis? Come on now. You got it.
Come on, sir. On Saturday, the Iranian leader condemned the effort by unnamed bullying governments to make a deal over the program.
Damn, you hear that? Unnamed bullying governments. You know exactly what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about them people in power. Though. He said he condemned them, shamed them. Go ahead.
Trump said the alternative to talks is force during an interview with Fox News Sunday Morning Futures.
Mm-hmm.
You got something, sir?
No, go ahead.
There are two ways Iran can be handled: militarily, or you make a deal.
What's the first one?
Militarily.
He's already talking war, huh?
Right.
He's already talking war. International turmoil has never stopped. It's like we've been doing this radio show weekly, right?
Right.
And every week, Donald Trump got his hand in another nation.
Right.
1 week is Canada, your so-called ally. 1 week is Mexico, your so-called ally. Next week is Ukraine, you so-called support. And then it's the French. And then it's the other European nations. They didn't shamed.
Right.
Who's next? Who's next? And then you want to go step on China's foot, trying to make a deal with Taiwan to make them chips.
Right.
They got a deal with Taiwan to bring their chip factory over to Arizona. I know China lurking.
Right.
I know China lurking. Come on now. Listen, man, this turmoil is on a downward spiral here. And now you wanna and the first thing that coming out your mouth is talking about military force with Iran.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Or you make a deal. Trump said, I would prefer to make a deal.
Of course he would prefer, because listen, Iran is not Ukraine, dum-dum.
Right.
He ain't gonna push around Iran, especially with all that unaliving you just did. Hold on one second. But yeah, they're not gonna get pushed around like them Ukrainians, man.
Right.
He ain't got a good rapport like he got with Putin. It's some blood on his hands. You understand? You got anything else? Any more?
Come on, sir. Trump said, I would prefer to make a deal because I'm not looking to hurt Iran.
Okay. Go ahead.
He said, they're great people. I know so many Iranians from this country. Trump,
yeah, that's propaganda. Everywhere. That's propaganda.
He know people everywhere.
Right. You had something on that?
He said that everybody is his friend.
Right. And listen, that's propaganda, yo.
Yeah.
They say they're trying to play the good guy. They listen. They want to invade Iran.
Yeah.
They want conflict with Iran. They want control over Iran, but it ain't going to be that easy. They're going to get dragged into this valley of Jehoshaphat, man. Listen, man. It's going to happen. It may happen soon. I don't know when it's going to happen, but there's going to be some troops over there soon. There's going to be some troops somewhere over there back in the Middle East. They tried to prolong it by bringing everybody out of what was it, Trump or was it Biden? That brought everybody back from Afghanistan.
That was Biden.
That was Biden. Yeah, all right. They're gonna get back on that plane shortly. They getting back on that plane real shortly. Go ahead.
The president went on to criticize Iran's leadership, but said he's written Iran's supreme leader personally asking to talk.
Go ahead.
Khomeini. Salaki, sir.
Khomeini. I was saying how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, the K is silent.
You got it.
Khomeini rebuffed the outreach Saturday during a meeting with the government and military officials. The instance of some bullying governments to negotiate is not to solve problems, but to impose their own expectations, Khomeini said. According to state media, the Islamic Republic of Iran will definitely not accept their expectations.
It sound like a war coming down the line.
Right.
That's what it sound like.
Yeah.
It don't sound like ain't nobody budging to me.
Right. And if you really want to know, sir, it sounds like they got more weapons than is expected.
That's the point.
Because if you think about it, last year when Biden was talking to him last year, they wanted to make a deal with Biden. But right now, the way it sounds now, by the way this article sounds now, is like they might got more power than we really think.
Uh-huh.
And this is a sidebar, sir, if I may. You know, 2 years ago, Iran was against nuclear weapons. They didn't want a nuclear program. But after watching what America has done to so many countries, they were forced to start building up their nuclear arsenal.
God, they had no choice. Don't the Iranians got a right to defend themselves?
Right.
They throwing that line around.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, doesn't everybody have a right to defend themselves?
Everybody.
The oppressor is the goddamn deceiver of the earth. Yeah. As you see in this article, these so-called Arabs, they ain't so deceived as others.
Right.
You're gonna get some more on this though. Go ahead.
Come. Iran's nuclear program has been the subject of Western scrutiny for nearly 2 decades. Iran maintains that its nuclear program is for the energy use only, but the U.S. and its allies say Iran's program is a front for a nuclear weapons bomb.
That's all it is. What's wrong with that though? Don't they got a right to do? And listen, we ain't no Islam cats. We ain't. We gotta set the record straight, Madonna, because they think they might think we Republican or something, or whatever the hell.
Right.
Some type of radical. We don't give a damn about none of the parties involved. We want what the Lord wants.
Right.
And what the Lord wants is for y'all to fight each other in the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's it.
Salakia. If I may, sir, again, right? If you look at this, right? If you look at what America's doing, it seems to me like, you ever seen when a robber calls the authorities on somebody because they got a gun?
Right.
Because you don't want to be robbed, so you arm yourself. They get mad, and then they begin to call something being unfair.
Right.
You understand? It's not right that you have something to protect yourself because I need to come into your place and get what I need.
Exactly. And that's what America does. That's the face of America right there. That's the perfect analogy. The thief. He's the real thief. Definitely. And then trick the earth. And then trick the whole earth like he's the good guy. That's what we be talking about when we say the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Exactly. The propaganda, the sway on the news, the sway on the media. All that's to put your mind in a place where to never question America, to never question your enemy, to never question your slave master. And that's the box we've been put in. Right. That's why we do these shows and these breakdowns to show you the real face of America, the real face of oppression, the real face of slavery.
Scriptures say what, sir? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
That propaganda.
You there, sir? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I timed out for a second. I lost connection for a second. My bad.
Okay. I was saying what that scripture say, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. That's our oppressor. And the problem is just what our oppressor is doing with his enemies on the other side of the earth is the exact same thing that he does with us. He gives us a lot of propaganda. He gives us a lot of smooth words, but he's set to destroy us. And the Bible also tells us that You know, Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather yourself together. We have to come together and we have to defeat this beast by coming together. That's the only way we defeat him. You understand? The only thing that the beast understands is power. You can't come up against this beast with love for him. You understand? You can't come up against this beast with anything but power. And when we come together, we are power. And we have to come together under one accord. That's under this truth.
Damn right. Damn right, huh? But these black organizations got us held back.
Right.
Got us sleep. Got us believing in this political system. Got us believing in America's might.
Right.
Like America's might is God to them. You know. But let's get a little bit of more. Go ahead. After you say that.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, just after you go, I want to get the rest of this, and we're gonna roll out after this article. But please continue, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, this is the you hit it right on the money when you're talking about our leadership. Our leadership is what destroys us. You understand? The scriptures tell us what? That, you know, our gates languish. You understand? We have broken leadership. And that's why we keep following the wrong things. We keep following Martin Luther King. We keep following that shadow of Egypt. We believe America's going to protect us. You understand? We fall under the rules of America. We fall under that, you know, Pledge of Allegiance and my country 'tis of thee. You understand? When that what does that my country 'tis of thee stands for? Our oppressor. You understand? That country is for him. It's for the oppressor, not for us. So all of those, you know, songs and, you know, that wordplay that they give, that's for them, not for us.
John, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely on point. Also, what Madame just said was so heavy. We get we get so invested in this Asian society. We don't see how disgusting and filthy we look. How, you know, being alongside this beast, man.
Right.
Like you mentioned before, especially with the Olympics, we be chanting USA. We be chanting USA like we a part of the USA.
Right.
We be with the having the flags, waving the flags. 4th of July, we go all out, man, don't we?
That's that spirit. It's the spirit of America.
We tied in. The scriptures say we are in the neck of thine enemy.
Yeah.
In every way, shape, and form. So you might look at the news and the propaganda and say, man, America gonna win. America, you up there saying America, we got the greatest army. Ain't nobody winning this war. Ain't nobody winning this war, man. I be listening to the radio. I be listening to these cats in the morning. Man, we got the greatest this, the greatest that. I mean, they so tied into the propaganda. It's like, yo, it's other nations on the earth, and they're gonna come up against America. And not only that, nobody wins.
Right.
Like we ain't rooting for Russia to win. What's that mean? If they do, what? We got a new oppressor now.
Right.
We ain't rooting for China to win. We ain't rooting for none of these goddamn bastards to win. We rooting for the Lord to deliver us from this bastard, man.
Right.
Let's get a little bit more on this Iran, and then we got.
Come. You ready, sir?
I'm ready.
I'm sure I got the right. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. On Sunday, Iran seemed. Wait a minute. Here we go. On Sunday, Iran seemed to open the door to limited negotiations. Its UN mission posted on X that Iran would discuss the militarization of its nuclear program, but the dismantlement of its program is a non-starter.
Okay. Okay. It's heating up. It's heating up, Bob. Come on.
They said they're not getting rid of their nukes.
100%. Why should they? And we ain't back in the Arabs. We ain't back in Iran.
Right.
I mean, we just using the same words that the Israelis use. We using the same words that the Ukrainians use. Everybody saying pray for Canada, and we got to be friends with Canada. Don't Canada got a duty to defend itself too? Don't everybody?
Right.
Let it cook up, man. Let it cook up.
Right.
This is it, man. You think you're gonna prevent this from happening? This is what the Lord wants, man. Come on.
Should the aim be the dismantlement of Iran's peaceful nuclear program to claim that what Obama failed to achieve has now been accomplished, such negotiations will never take place, Iran's UN mission said.
Oh boy, this one ain't popping, Madonna. I tried to tell him.
Yeah.
I tried to tell him. Like, we brought up the timeline. We brought up the timeline of nuclear advancements in Iran, and just kept getting higher and higher and higher since the 50s, right?
Right.
Now look at this. Meaning there's no turning back. Let's get this last paragraph.
While Iran says its program is for peaceful purposes, its officials have recently threatened to create a bomb in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war.
Mm-hmm.
According to a recent House resolution by Rep. Jared Moskowski, a Democrat for Florida, and weapons-grade uranium production has increased, according to the Associated Press. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican of South Carolina, told Fox News the deal he wants to reach with Iran.
If you could, go ahead and skip down to the very last. Hold on, Ma. Go down to the very last one.
Okay. Trump summarized his message to Iran's leader. I said, I hope you're going to negotiate because it's going to be a lot better for Iran. Trump recounted to Fox News Mariam Bartiromo, and I think they want to get that letter. The other alternative is we have to do something because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Jeez, what a bully.
Yeah.
What a bully. How arrogant, right?
Right.
It's inevitable. It's look like it's going down.
Yeah, it is.
You know, if they continue to try to defend themselves and their people, not just the Iranians, but the Palestinians and the other Arab nations,
right?
That America somehow, maybe a proxy, is going to be more troops on the ground. That's all it's going to be.
Right.
And it's looking like the Israelis is getting stretched thin. How many nations you going to fight? You done bullied and wiped out a strip of land. What you going to fight? Egypt too? Iraq and Iran at the same time?
You trying to get America?
America ain't going to have no choice. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's what it sounds like. Because it's
trying to get
against Israeli.
They trying to get America to come in with them.
That's what it is. And listen, don't think for 1 second we associate with them goddamn Israelis, because it's not. It's going to be Arab on goddamn
European
on oppressor crime.
Yeah, on oppressor. Yeah,
on Amalek. That's the biblical name.
Yeah, Amalek.
It's really Ishmael versus Amalek.
Yep.
That's what it really is. We don't even know that. But my thumb, anything else you have before we close?
Sir.
This is the One West News Desk. We here every Monday night, bringing you local, national, and international news, unbiased and uncut and true. You understand? We are the Israelite School of EPK, started at One West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Johanna. We've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are, in fact, the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm your host, Captain Saparia, along with
Officer Matham.
With that, Shalom Israel. Shalom.